is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Currently on No Other Pod on Kansas City Sports Network. I'm Daniel Kooser, here with Chris Wright, here to recap a 6-hour game. We're very excited. We promise you we won't take that long to explain it. Chris, what's happening, my friend? Are you dry from all that rain that you're seeing on TV and getting here in town as well? Because tornadoes are about to wipe your city off the face of the earth.
I'm not that far from you. I mean, we're right there in the same bucket there, but
shit's been missing Topeka and converging on Lawrence. Like last night was weird. Topeka didn't get much rain, but like Lawrence did eventually. It was weird.
I was in Oklahoma a couple weeks ago, very briefly, during a lot of that tornadoes and severe weather. And man, it just feels like the most active severe weather season I think I've seen in quite some time.
Why in God's name were you in Oklahoma?
I was visiting somebody very briefly, but
okay.
Yeah, what's up with the severe weather, man?
I don't know. Let's not act like we're working at a bank where everyone that walks in has to talk about the weather, because that's what they do when you're working retail. Whoa, some weather we're having, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
I'm one of those people. I walk outside, I'm like, man, thank God we got some rain. We really needed it, I'm that person. I don't know why.
You're that a-hole that's like, how about this heat, huh?
You think of It's Always Sunny, right?
Yeah. Is it hot, Wally? Is it a hot one?
Oh man,
classic. Sure is a hot one to Wally out there. Oh, buddy, this was a day, man. This was a day where we probably should have, should have crushed them by 17 goals.
It felt like we just handed them 2 points or a point, right? Gave away 2 points on a platter. It's one of those games where, you're happy to get a road point, but you feel like you lost, kind of a thing. It's frustrating to watch, but
sure. Yeah. It probably almost feels like it ends 1-1. Almost feels like they saved a point. You know what I mean? Because we were the top ranked KC Current. I mean, let's not get too down on them. Like, we're still undefeated, and a road point is always good. It's just the way that this happened makes me want more. The way it went down, I'm just like, God, this is just defeating, because we peppered Jane Campbell. Like, her palms, her gloves, she needs new gloves for sure, because we made those puppies work.
Those in the Hall of Fame as well, right? Like,
unbelievable,
incredible.
We knew going in, we knew she was a beast, but I mean, might help if you don't kick it right at her half the time, because she didn't have to look spectacular for most of those. She dove out for like 1 goal.
Right. We took 29 shots with 14 shots on goal.
Oh my God.
And I think all but like 3 were probably at her.
Bro, the first half, I'm sure Jane Campbell was just yelling at her defense, like, do you guys want to play soccer today? Like, do you want to help me at all? Because I don't think they had the ball in our half until like the 40th minute.
Yeah.
It was just weird. Boom, boom, boom. They'd get the ball, and then we take it right back before they even got to midfield. And I was like, damn, are we that? Are we those bullies? And I think it's time to embrace that we're the villains.
It was basically 40 minutes of nonstop attack, nonstop threatening. And we just couldn't, with the exception of that goal, it felt like we just missed that last pass, that extra touch, that extra whatever it was that would give us the best opportunity. And I guess, you can't give credit to a defense that gave up 14 shots on goal, but they funneled the shots in a way that made it easier for Jane Campbell.
Yeah. But in this day, it kind of worked out for me. My plan was to watch the first half at home. I had to run to play rehearsal, and I was going to try to catch what I could on my phone in between scenes I'm not in and stuff like that. Then I see, all of a sudden I look over and I'm like, why the hell is OL Rain on my thing? What's going on? And then I see up in the corner, it's like, or on the ticker on the bottom, KC Currents and rain delay. This is the replay of last year's championship. Because what I saw at first, bro, I saw Rapinoe go down, and I was like, Rapinoe? I was so surprised. I was like, oh man, in the 5th minute too. That's so early. I had serious deja vu, but it worked out for me. because I got to kind of catch the second half when I got home. Your day was kind of messed up, though, right?
Man, I had it all planned out. I had everything down to the hour. I had everything, which is shocking for me. That's not who I am. But I had it.
I love that.
I had it all like structured. In the first half, ended, we're up 1-0, happy. Felt like we could have got a couple more there. Didn't think much of the rain, even though it was coming down. Yeah, structured. Who would have thought? But, I didn't think much of the rain, to be honest. And then all of a sudden, it's, postponed or suspended. And I literally cleaned some of the house waiting for it to come back on. I was just trying to kill time. And then I was like, forget it. So I went and, got groceries, did my rounds, bought everything I needed, went to the gym, came back right as it started. That was an incredibly long but productive rain delay for me.
There wasn't a lot of notice on when the game was going to restart. It was like the game's going to restart at 5:13, and it was like 5. I was like, Jesus, all right, guess we're going. But think how this messes with teams, dude. Because we work out, we exercise, we know the benefits of warming up, cooling down, and the human body does not really need more than one workout a day. That's for like crazy athletes, muscle builders, stuff like that. You really just need one workout a day if you're doing it right. But to warm up, get your body in that zone, and then cool down, and then to have to warm up and do that again, it's crazy. They played like 2 little games, so to speak. And not to mention, then they missed their flight to Seattle because they were going to go straight there instead of coming back to KC between games. I guess they didn't have a hotel booked or something. Is that right?
I heard that they got a flight. They got a flight eventually, but they had to miss the first one, right?
Sure.
I don't know what the rules are when it comes to rain delays, but I imagine 3 hours is cutting it pretty damn close to. Well, I'm glad they finished it. Let me at least say that. I'm glad they finished it. I don't want them to have to travel back down there at a later date, finish a game. And sure. I think the rule changed from last year to this year. Last year, after half, they would have, if the weather didn't cooperate and they were not able to play, the Current would have got that 1-0 win. That was last year. This year, rules with the 75th minute is when they would actually,
true,
count that game.
Let me throw a little something at you here. At least all the Houston Dash fans stayed to watch that second half.
Oh man, that's so.
All 6 of them. All 6 of them hung out.
Yeah, that's
How can you have a team down there? If your fans don't want to be there, I just don't understand. I know KC Current is doing something different and magical, and this stadium is packed every weekend. Seattle Reign are doing things.
Portland,
Gotham's packed.
San Diego.
So what is it with Houston when they're like, women's soccer? Nah. But I got to tell you, they're not even really into men's soccer because they don't really fill up their stadium either. There's empty seats all over the place. So I don't get that because Houston is so close to Mexico and there's a huge Latin America population. Well, they normally love soccer. Do they just not like American soccer? I don't know, man. I don't get it.
You got a couple. Well, you had 2 national team players and Sanchez and Ordonez. And then Sanchez was traded to the Wave. So that was a big, I guess, that was a benefit of Kansas City playing them at this time was without Maria Sanchez. But to your point, how does that not draw more fans? Houston is an incredibly populated area. I don't understand how. Per capita, they should have an incredible turnout. I don't understand, man. And correct me if I'm wrong, but is Dallas kind of the same as well? They're better than Houston, right?
Somewhat. I haven't watched an FC Dallas game in a bit, unless we're playing them, right? But it's kind of, dude, I was seeing someone talk about how Orlando Pride don't have a lot of people in their stadium. And, that's a soccer-specific, decent stadium, I believe. And I saw people up in the mentions like, oh, bring it over to Atlanta. We'll support. It's just, it's a bad deal. I don't know how come it's not being well supported in certain places.
And they have a boatload of Brazilian national team players. They're number 1 in the table right now. They played an extra game than we did, but
Oh, right. Yeah, they can. Yeah. We have a game in hand. We're going to catch up Wednesday. You just relax.
But yeah, I don't understand, man. It makes me very proud of Kansas City too. Like bringing it back, it just makes me really proud of what we are as a soccer city, soccer community, whatever you want to label it, man. The fact that we can sell out or at least have, great attendance of both the men's and women's side on the same night.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
It's so cool. It's a weird time in soccer, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Dude, we're going to break down this whole game and everything that's going on. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to do that.
We appreciate you supporting KC Sports Network by listening to our podcast. You have helped us become the highest-ranked Chiefs podcast network in 2022 and 2023. And don't forget about our daily Substack newsletter, the best written analysis you can find on the Chiefs straight to your inbox every day. kcsn.substack.com.
Yo. So, my friend, I got to tell you, Jane Campbell is just a problem, and she's the best thing going at Houston Dash right now. It's wild to see. I want to start this thing early and do the Holiday Distillery toast of the match to Jane Campbell. No, just kidding. Honestly, if I could, I would give it to Jane Campbell. But honestly, bro, it goes to Claire Hutton. Because Claire Hutton has been doing the thing, man. She had a nose for goal. I'm surprised she didn't get one in. This 18-year-old is just a phenom. And I'm very happy she's getting the minutes that she's getting.
I don't think when we signed her, the current signed her, I don't think they expected her to fit in as quickly, fit in as well, play as well as she has played. She has not really had a bad game.
No.
As an 18-year-old, that's absolutely remarkable. I did not know she had such a laser of a shot as well.
Yeah.
You could tell she wants one. The moment she has a window outside that box, she's letting it rip.
Has she scored yet?
She has not. And Campbell made a diving save, probably one of the best shots in the game outside of the goal itself.
It was up for save of the week.
Yeah. I mean, it was full extension. That thing was going right in. What an incredible shot by her. But the way she's been able to integrate into the team, cut off angles, read defenses, do smart, tactical, veteran-type fouls to stop at counter. I mean, what she's done is certainly going overshadowed by what Bia's doing, Chewinga, DiBernardo, what Vladko is doing as a coach, what other players are doing around the league. But what she is doing is under the radar, but absolutely phenomenal.
If I was in that team, I would be treating this as a game now, in a sense of we want new people to score. Like let's get that record, right? Let's get Claire a goal. Let's get Ebal a goal. Just get Gabby's getting up in there. It's crazy. Ellie Wheeler's got one. We all know Haley Mace can score. But Haley Mace brings me to this. What do you think when you saw the starting lineup? Ellie Wheeler not starting for the first time. Haley Mace came back and earned a spot back.
I mean, I think it was the right call.
Sure.
I think Mace was dangerous. I think defensively she was what she needed to be. Wheeler's had a couple rough games, which will kind of continue today. Mace she had a couple shots on goal. She had one that was basically point blank, and that was a great save by Campbell. But Mace is finding herself in threatening positions. So I think she's earned that spot, and I don't think you can take Izzy out of the game either. I think Izzy, that left back spot, I think she has that lockdown. She was able to be competitive and win that spot, and
in pretty good form back there.
Exactly. I think Mace has to be a right back right now.
And we saw Bia was not in the starting lineup, not even in the roster. Actually was back at the watch party signing autographs. Did you go to that, by the way?
No,
you didn't.
No, I did not.
Yeah, that would have been wild.
That would have been a long watch party, by the way.
I know. Did they keep it going? Did everyone stay at the stadium?
I don't know.
I didn't hear anything.
I don't know if they kick him out at some point.
Well,
they paid for it.
Delayed.
And they paid for it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, bro, this is we shuffled some stuff here, too. There were some good substitutions along the way.
Ellie started real quick. Ball was back in the starting lineup.
Yep, that was good. I just think I think Vlatko sees the upcoming stretch of games. You got 3 games in 8 days right here. We're coming up on the second one, and he's kind of doing a little shuffling, trying to keep legs fresh, keep people smart. Like when Wheeler came in for Mace in the 69th, Debinha came in for DiBernardo in the 67th, Labonta came in at the half, Pfeiffer came in at the 82nd, and Cooper came in for Lavogé, which we saw Lavogé in there. I was interested to see how that attack would look with no Bia, and it was slower. It was less aggressive, I'd say, but our midfield was still getting that ball back real fast and getting it to our attackers as quick as they could.
Yeah. I mean, Lavogé, in my opinion, deserved that start, especially with, Bia being out. You score 2 goals in 10 minutes or whatever it was. You deserve to get that start. So I'm glad she got it. She had a couple of nice rips in there. She had a couple shots, but, again, credit to Jane Campbell. She's always been that player who we just struggle to get past. Not the team, just the player. I mean, the first half, the attack was pretty formidable. We were pressuring throughout the entire first half. But,
the first half was 14 shots and 7 of them on goal.
Yeah. But there is certainly, you can visually see we're a different team without Bia on the field.
Oh, yeah. Man, it's dude, just looking at the recap and everything, it was like in the 8th minute this happened, in the 10th minute this happened. Like we were just all offense in that first half, and I was ready to pop, dude. I was ready to explode. And it didn't really happen right away, but 24th minute comes along, man, and guess what? A little cross from our gal, Vanessa DiBernardo, to Chawinga. Didn't really get a clean shot, but it was just enough to get in there. And you saw Jane Campbell kind of flick her. She's diving one way, she kind of flicks the foot out, just misses the ball. So close too.
It was kind of in slow motion, right? It was just kind of like, as a fan watching it, on the TV, it was just you're just hoping it wouldn't be cleared off the line.
Yeah, she picked a side to go to, and her momentum was already going, and she couldn't. She did what she could, man, and I'm happy for her mistake because she doesn't make them. I'm very impressed with this woman and her face. That's an intense face. Jane Campbell has an intense face. Do not talk to me on game day. I'm all business. I'm about to save 27 goals right now. Absolutely ridiculous.
If you're a defender and you go into half, what do you say to her? Are you just afraid to talk to her?
Say sorry?
Yeah, or do you just hide in the corner and just I don't know. I don't know what you say to her, who's bailed you out 12 times that game. I don't know.
You tell her good game, and she's gonna. And dude, it's one of those things like when you ask someone how they are, and then that person doesn't reciprocate and ask how you've been. So it's like someone's like, "Good game, Jane," and she just goes, "Thanks," and doesn't return the statement because she's like, "You didn't have a good game. I had a good game."
Right.
It's dude, I didn't think this game was ever going to get restarted. I took a look at the Houston radar. It just kept coming. They were right over the green, and there was some red in there too because they'll play in rain, but I guess there were some storms and stuff, and that's unfortunate. I do hate when a soccer game gets suspended because of rain. It's just a little bit, and it's like, no, dude, you can play in rain. People play in snow. What are you doing?
Yeah. And when I saw this lineup, you knew Lowe was going to come on. You knew Debinha and Cooper. And you just kind of felt like, the scoring talent or the scoring ability is going to come on in the second half of the game, right? Whenever the subs are going to be made. So I'm a little disappointed we didn't do more in that second half in terms of quality of shots. Although Debinha fed a beautiful ball to Chawinga, that was one-on-one with Jane Campbell. Took a deflection, bounced off her body, and she was able to get another foot on it, but a defender made it back at that point. But,
yeah, man,
the second half of the game, I was really hoping we could kind of separate ourselves on the score sheet, but didn't quite happen.
No, it didn't quite happen. I mean, it was just, I do love to see DiBernardo continuing to be a force and part of the stat sheet, and Chawinga being on the stat sheet. It just is what it is, man. But the 4-hour delay, though, is going to hurt anybody, and it's going to affect both teams, and it's a matter of who comes out wanting it more after that. And it looked like Houston really did. However, we still handed them their goal, man. I'll tell you this, in the recap that Casey Current typed up is not an accurate recap in my mind. It says, forward Amanda West converted a loose ball that bounced off the far post and into the back of the net. I would like to say that Ellie Wheeler and AD France collided like a couple of ding-dongs, and then that let Amanda West convert this ball. That's not in the write-up. It didn't say they were ding-dongs, but it was wild to me. I was like, damn, we got to talk. You know, she's got it. Someone's got to clear this ball, and we just make a mistake and give up a goal. 2 points lost, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
I mean, France, in my opinion, should have had that first ball, right? That hit her right in the hands, like your breadbasket, you know, just hit you right there. And, you know, she was probably maybe looking downfield or looking for contact, and maybe just kind of took her eyes off the ball. That's why she didn't get it on the first grab. Yeah, it's another just kind of, I don't even know who to blame. I don't know if that's on Wheeler, if that's on Fridge, if that's on both. I mean, both of them clearly. I don't know whose foot you put the blame on. And
it's got to be embarrassing, though, as a player. Yeah. You're like, man, don't show that highlight to me. Like, that feels stupid.
And French cleared it, and it went, you know, took another deflection.
Yeah.
And then went right to a Houston player.
One of the dumbest things to me is when two outfielders collide for a ball in baseball. Dude, growing up, weren't you always told to call a guy off if you got it? You go, it's mine. You just yell at him. And I think as pros, you know, it happened, they stopped doing the fundamentals like that. They stopped calling people off. They stopped catching pop flies with two hands. They do the one-handed thing. You know, it's ridiculous. But I feel like France is the commander back there. She's in charge. She probably should have yelled at Wheeler. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't, and should have just told her to get the hell out of here. Like, I got it. And they just miscommunicated.
And Mace went down with an injury that brought Wheeler in. So yeah. It was probably more precautionary, right? You have a couple of games coming up in a short period of time. You got some travel, no point. And, I mean, you're up 1-0 at that point, looking pretty good, you know, against an offense that's struggled to score. It makes sense to make that sub.
But here's the thing. I'm not worried at this point. I'm like, listen, there's 20 minutes plus in this game left, you know, stoppage time. We can score.
I thought you have it. The team that was going to score again, you know, like, yeah. Like we were on that front foot.
Sure. But I mean, Chawinga got the ball and she explodes out the gate. Dude, on a weekend of the Kentucky Derby, this woman's a thoroughbred. And she took off, my man. And she was just going and hits Dabinia, who's streaking down the left side, just hoofing it. And the ball finds her. Dabinia takes a little touch, just gives it right back to Chawinga. Perfect pass. And it doesn't happen, dude. What happened? A goalkeeper got it, right?
Yeah, Campbell made the initial stop and it bounced around, and Chawinga actually got another shot off, but the defender was there to be in the way. Right. I got a little bit of a hot take, man. And I'm not the only person who sees it here. And I love Chawinga. She deserves all the credit she's getting right now. But I think there's a lot of moments where she is keeping her head down looking for goal when there's a better opportunity available. There's always a couple times there's a better pass, a better dump off, you know, and she's a good passer. So like she has the ability. I just think she gets so focused on goal. Maybe that's coming from a league or a team where she's the goal scorer and she has nobody's going to, you know, expect her to lay it off. But I feel like there's been opportunities these last couple games for her to do that and really put a player in a better, statistically higher probability of scoring a goal type of situation. Oh, she has not done that. So I find that sometimes a little frustrating, but, you know, ultimately she's an incredible player, and I'm just thankful she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, she's great, right? And just a blast, dude. She looks like she's having a blast. I will say, man, Spancer was dangerous during this game as well. I just kept thinking, like, she's going to score more goals because she's in great positioning for that. But the shots she had, they went right at Jane Campbell. Like, you can't shoot right at one of the goats of this sport. And I'm
Cooper
good.
had a shot at the very end of the game. I was like outside the box, but she had a somewhat of an open angle, and
Yeah.
right at Campbell.
And we're taking these shots from distance as well because we're comfortable doing it. And I will say, Claire Hutton is doing a lot of that. She looks real damn confident to shoot from outside. We've seen DiBernardo shoot from outside. It's pretty wild to have that threat, dude, that attack. But Campbell, I've got the highlights kind of rolling on my other screen here, and you watch in slow motion, Campbell's reading you the whole way. Before you even wind up to shoot, she's already shuffling towards that side, just little bitty steps, and she's saving it no problem. She's just a good keeper, man. There was another one that kind of trickled into her goal, and she puts her feet kind of past her line and goes forward to keep the ball out. It was coming. It was like drizzling in, right?
I thought it was a goal on TV. I yelled it out. I mean, replay, obviously it wasn't, but I thought that was
a replay, and you were like, okay, that's just really great goalkeeping. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But dude, sometimes you got to, then we score a little drizzler, right? Where she goes the other way and Chewinga diverted it the opposite way. And sometimes you'll get stuff like that. But Haley Mace is coming in, peppering the goal. Or peppering Jane Campbell, because we're not shooting at the open net. It's crazy to me. You're not going to beat her. And another thing on that breakaway Chewinga had, I would have loved to see Dabinia give it. She gives it back to Chewinga. I would have loved to see Dabinia keep running. She passed it off and let Chewinga go on goal, because I really think Chewinga could have laid it off. The keeper has now come for the save on Chewinga, and now Dabinia's got an open goal. Open goal. Because that's how I think you're going to have to give and go to trick this keeper, because she is so good. Yeah, I don't know, man. Veteran awareness was not with her in the second half. Dabinia just laid it off and watched, right? It's unfortunate. It's not called give and go. It's called give and go. So what are you going to do? But it's another time, God dang. And then Chewinga hits it right at the goalkeeper, and you got a gal on your left here, just wide open. Like you said, she's only looking for goals. She's not seeing someone who's...
It was
right
open. I'm going off of memory. I can't remember exactly, but it was...
Like, dude, one of our blonde girls. It was one of our blondes. I can't tell when it's so far away. I want to say it was on the left side, so who's our blonde girls on the left side? Spanstrom, I guess. Well, she might have still been in there. But it's just, oh my God, here comes this Lipsy Doodle play. Yep. If France just pushed Ellie Wheeler down, just pushed her. So this is frustrating, dude, but we are
still a road point. A road point. It's hard to be overly mad at a road point. It just felt like the way the game played out, the way they scored the goal, it just felt like we gave it to them. But
yeah,
nonetheless, a road point.
If man, and you got to take advantage this Wednesday, dude. Seattle's not doing great. I mean, don't go in there and give them the respect you gave Houston. Go in there and take the game. Take it. Because we're capable of scoring multiple goals really quickly. So when you just score one in the first half, it's like, stop letting them hang around. I'm sure that's what Vlatko talks about at halftime. Stop letting them in the game. Well, pound them.
Do you remember last year when we played them? The first half, we blitzed the shit out of Jane Campbell, put countless shots on goal similar to this game. And we ended up getting a draw when we needed 3 points because we just didn't convert in the moments or opportunities that we had. But we have to do that again against Seattle. We have to. They're down 2 players, by the way. So Tazara King, one of their attackers, she had a red card last game against San Diego. And then Quinn is one of their better players. Quinn is out with an injury, or at least she was last game. I imagine she's not going to play this game since it's such a short turnaround for them as well. I mean, Seattle beat San Diego, by the way, 2-1, and it was a gritty win. Granted, San Diego didn't have Alex Morgan, didn't have Naomi Gurma, didn't have Dahlkemper. They were missing a ton of players. So, they were shorthanded, but, Seattle's not one to take lightly. Even if they're playing poorly right now, they're not one to take lightly.
No, I mean, on a road game, you shouldn't take anyone lightly. You should never underestimate anybody. But I just like to go in there and be up by 3 goals at halftime. You know what I mean? Start crushing this thing because you got to come home. You got a pretty decent North Carolina team coming home. You don't want to ever lose at home. Like, never. You do not want to give up points at home. And I don't like being in second place because we've been spoiled with first place. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
You know me?
I mean, right out the gate, we were, number one in the table, right? So we got used to it. We got used to that high-powered offense. We got some tough road wins in San Diego and LA, and we felt pretty confident that was what was going to happen, and it didn't. So we got to go make it up, man. And
yeah,
with the changes in travel, it's probably going to throw this team off a little bit. I don't know if that changes any approach in terms of player getting minutes or tactical. I doubt the tactical part, but Seattle's having an off year and they have a couple players who won't be able to play, but they still have Bethany Balser. They still have Sofia Huerta, Alana Cook at center back there. Barnes is a veteran. I watched the game. Ivory their keeper made some good saves. So she had a good game. I mean, it's definitely a game we should win, but we still have to execute.
I mean, they're only averaging a goal per match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There shouldn't be a lot of goals from them. There shouldn't be. So let's just go ahead and get at least 2 and call it a day. I mean, the numbers don't lie, man. That's statistics right there. I will say if we get this point on the road, if we just get 1, which I'm like, that's perfectly okay. I'm fine with that. I don't want to be fine with that, but I am. That puts us right back into first place on tied with Orlando, but we get first on goal differential there. Coming back home in first place. So that's all you can really ask for from a 3-game homestand. Is that what this was? Or 3-game road?
Yep.
Road? Yeah.
And, taking a quick look at Seattle leading up to this past game where they won, they lost 5 in a row. Seattle did. Against some quality teams, by the way, so I don't want to disparage that, but this is a winnable game. I'm interested to see what Vlatko does due to, 3 games in 8 days and the travel, which he called out the travel, that Kansas City had the worst travel in the league, and rightfully so.
Is that true? You think?
I think so, yeah. I think it is. I didn't look at every team, but I just kind of took a gander, and it looked like we had some pretty tough travel.
Okay. Well, if there's truth to that, 'cause I never like when coaches act like they're complaining, right? It's like, I mean, the league tries to make it fair, but if there's merit to it, then by all means, go ahead and bitch.
It's got to be tough to, go to LA, go to Houston, go to Seattle, all within, a short period of time there, 10 days.
Yeah.
But, on the field, it's a winnable game.
How do you? I always wonder the mindset on the travel like that. Like, is it frustrating to be away from family and stuff, or maybe you're not away from family. Maybe you do live alone in KC or with a roommate, and you're like, found a little vacation, going with my team to play some ball, man, and see some sights. Before game, take a walk around the town.
I think you really have to kind of build it in your head, like, go before that stretch. Like, okay, this is going to be a lot of work. This is not going to. You just got to build it up in your head. So when you go into it, it's not going to be easy. You're going to be sore. You're going to be on a plane. You're going to be just trying to recover, but also prepare for a game. And, with the amount of stakes that are on the line, it's got to be mentally challenging. I think you have to prepare yourself for that, for that stretch.
Yeah, that's true. Well, this was, I'm ready to just throw this Houston thing away, man. It's sad, but on the bright side, it's still a road point. You're still up towards the top of the league. That's all you can really ask for.
You wipe away that mistake, you're coming home with 3 points, right? And we're just ecstatic on to the next one. So,
yeah, we're having trouble scoring away from home, it seems. And that's not great, but it is great to show that our home is a fortress. And that, hey, like we've shown we are going to score at home. And that's kind of fun.
Now, I don't know what Bia's injury is exactly. We don't know the length that she will miss. I'm hoping this will just be like given the 2 teams we played, maybe just keep her at home, keep her healthy, keep her off her feet, and maybe bring her in against North Carolina. I don't know what the strategy is. This is just me thinking through it.
Just would assume she's staying home for this game. Like, I don't think they would fly her out individually.
Right. I don't think so. But I wonder if they're just trying to prepare her for the next home game and just, give her that recovery time. Because, and we could use her, she certainly has she's a big part of that attack. And we found that out against Houston.
Very much so, man. And it's double game week. So, we're here to talk about a second game, and we got North Carolina coming to town. Seattle would be great to steal 3 points, but when we talked about this, only right before that we took this away homestand. Why do I say homestand? This away trip of games. Yeah. North Carolina was like number 2 in the league, and they've since dropped down to 6. What's been going on with them?
They just had, so taking a look at Orlando, I watched that game. Orlando's really
well. They've lost 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
Orlando and Gotham.
3 of the last 4.
Barely beat Seattle. Lost to Angel City.
Yeah.
So lost 3 of the last 4. Yeah.
Orlando just beat the brakes off them, man. They just hit them with a couple counters, and then it was just catch up. North Carolina does not play well when they're behind because they're such a high possession team. Actually, I think they're the high
behind.
Yeah, I think they're actually the highest. They have the highest possession in the league. The Current are 13th. Now, we are really good with counters. We score a lot of goals with counters, so if we can make them pay early, it'll really kind of throw them off. But Orlando got ahead 2-0 pretty quickly, and then just put it on them. I don't know if you've been able to watch Barbara Banda, their new signee, Orlando. Absolutely incredible. I think she has like 2 goals and 1 assist in 2 games or something like that. But she's really given Orlando that offensive boost they needed. Gotham squeaked out a win against North Carolina as well, like you mentioned. So they're coming to Kansas City wanting to get back on track, and we are coming back home wanting to make a statement after our road stretch.
Exactly. 100%, man. You got old buddy Jenna Weinbrenner over at North Carolina now.
Yep.
Who else is over there? Someone else from
Victoria Pickett.
Victoria Pickett, that's right. And who's who's the one to watch here, and why is it Caroline?
Well, if she was playing, she's still recovering from her ACL injury.
Is she? Okay. Thank you for saying that. I was not aware.
But they do have Ashley Sanchez, who came over from Washington, who's been having a really good season. So she's going to be a difficult player to stop. Also, Denise O'Sullivan has always been a challenge when she's played us. And Tyler Lucy came in as a sub against against Gotham. But she's always a problem, so I imagine she'll get more playing time this game. So I'm looking at those 3. Hopkins has been playing pretty well for North Carolina as well. So,
great.
If you can slow down O'Sullivan, Sanchez, and Tyler Lucy, I think you might have some success.
I think so, man. And the crowd's gonna be rocking. Everyone's just gonna be excited to get back there. It's gonna be Mother's Day, so that'll be fun. Maybe a lot of moms out there hanging out. I know I once took my mom to a soccer game on Mother's Day. Kind of nice of her to go do something I wanted to do when it's like, this is not my day. Why did I do this? But, treated her to a game. Why not?
Yeah, North Carolina's 6th in the table, man. They went from 2 to 6. They're going to be eager to come back and get back on track, right? They're not as off. They did beat the brakes off of, oh my gosh, who was it? A couple games ago. Oh, never mind. I think they put up 4 about 5 or 6 games ago. North Carolina did. But
they put up in March, they beat Houston 5-1.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of mind-blowing after watching Jane Campbell do what she did. So they have that ability to, score goals, but once they're behind, they're a different team. Then we just have to take them out of their element. To me, that's the victory. Get them behind. You know,
make them approach it like they approached the Houston game, because it clearly was attack, like go score. And if we do that, get ahead and done deal, man. Because shit, dude, this team lost to Utah, and no one loses to Utah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to get back out there. What is it? 5 o'clock game?
5 o'clock Sunday. Hopefully the weather is good. I don't know. Gonna have any.
Has anyone looked at the old outlook? I mean, it's dude, 'tis the season. You just never know what you're gonna get, man. Boom, tornadoes just peeling off roofs like convertibles. It is a wild time.
You know, one thing I've actually enjoyed is all the new footage of like tornadoes nowadays. Because everybody has cameras, everybody has like dash cams, and it's, I don't know.
You've enjoyed watching destruction.
I have. It's been very, very interesting. So Sunday is a high of 81.
81, I see. Low chance of rain in there, but we'll see, man. We're all covered, right? I mean, we're not going to get rained on. That's the player's fault. That's the player's problem.
No rain delays, please.
Hopefully not. But I'm pumped. Hey, I do want to mention something. Did you see what I'm calling the Chicago blunder of 2024? Did you see the goalkeeper try to clear this ball away?
Yes.
And it hits on a woman's chest right into the goal?
Yeah, against Bay. I think Bay FC, yeah.
Yes. Dude, that's one of those things where it's like, ouch, that probably hurt my chest, but my adrenaline's so high from scoring a goal, I didn't even feel that.
Lucky for Franch and Wheeler, because if it wasn't for that, like, that goal might have been making the rounds.
Right.
But
if not top 10 cared about, soccer in general, well, no, they probably would, because top 10 doesn't really make soccer all that much. You ever watch that Sports Center top 10?
I haven't watched Sports Center in so long.
Oh, so you got to wake up early enough, or, I do watch it. The top 10 comes at like 6:50 every day.
Oh, wow.
And it's a fun time. But just blast off her chest right into the goal. And it was one of the funniest things. Was that Alyssa Nair, the keeper?
Yeah, that was Nair.
Really? Because that's such a rare thing for Nair to do that. I mean, it just didn't feel like that's something she would do. She's like the goalkeeper of the league, man. But on that day, Jane Campbell was. So, Jane Campbell. Oh, dude. Anyways, what else is there to talk about? Anything else catch your attention this past weekend?
I mean, Portland, Washington, and Orlando are just shooting right up to the table, man. They're all having really good performances. Portland, since they had a coaching change or manager change, they're undefeated. Orlando's just having a hell of a start here. Orlando and the Current are the only two unbeaten teams remaining.
That's right.
So
Louisville lost, and we don't play Orlando for like ever, like July something, right?
I'm not sure, but I hope we can keep that going. I want to be the last one.
I do too.
So let's hope we can get that going. I'm gonna take a look at their upcoming games. Oof.
And Utah lost again, but that's just what happens, Bay FC lost again. That's just what seems to be happening. These expansion teams are not doing so hot. It's very weird.
It's to be expected to a degree, right? You're kind of working through the roster and trying to figure out what you want to do. But
I always love, dude, Schadenfreude. I love a good Schadenfreude. I love seeing expansion teams fail. Like, I love it. No, and here's why. Because they are, a lot of times, they're born on third base. They're handed all this money, these draft picks, these expansion draft picks. And a lot of times, their fans, insufferable. They just come into the league acting like they've been here forever, acting like they know everything about soccer. Like when Atlanta came into MLS and was so good, you know how awesome it was to see them not be so good? You know how awesome it's been to like see Minnesota fluctuate, Orlando fluctuate. I mean,
St. Louis. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade, but,
Throw that shade.
Yeah.
Throw it.
It's nice to see fans humbled. Down to earth.
Yes.
Back to earth here.
St. Louis was insufferable last year, and now not so great. I mean, it is now LAFC is still great, and it's pissing me off. But seeing Bay and Utah kind of down towards the bottom of the standings, not so mad about it. Shot Inferno, baby.
We got fleeced by Utah, so I mean, I'm still a little bitter, even though it's all worked out. It's all worked out, but still, yeah, fleeced.
Looking at this upcoming week, anything peeking out to you as good matchups? I mean, anything looking good?
I am interested in the Spancha Sofia Huerta kind of matchup on that left side.
Yeah,
young and hungry player against Huerta, who is national team player. I'm taking a look at that right side of Seattle. They don't have a ton of speed. You put Chawinga over there. Maybe that could be something.
You think that left back isn't like, oh boy, I need to practice sprints?
I mean, I would. It's going to be. I'm just kind of curious to see how we can test that back line. Cook is good. Barnes is a veteran. I'm sure they're not going to make it easy. Fishlock's in the middle there.
Yeah.
She's always a pain. But it's definitely a winnable game, man. It's certainly winnable. We should come away with 3, but I thought that against Houston.
Well, and you think about, like, we've been rotating lineups too. I mean, Seattle has as well. I mean, they got a game this weekend against Portland. So, and then they also, when did they play? Oh, they played for last Friday. They played Friday. So I can tell you, I'm really, I'm a fan of these Friday games. If there's multiple games, at least one of them's on Prime Video.
I like Wednesday too, just because like it's midweek, you get your fix, right? You get your NWSL fix, and in a couple days, you're going to get another Friday game. So
Wednesday,
I dig it.
You got to double feature this thing.
Absolutely.
With boarding at 7 for U.S. Open Cup, and then KC Current at 9. It's gonna be quite the evening.
Also, real quick on that, Seattle with Laura Harvey and Vladko, 2 really good tactical coaches. Kind of curious to see how they manage that. And also, I'm kind of curious to see if we see more of Debinha, Lowe, and Cooper, or if we still see the same about 30 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah,
that we got this game.
I'm gonna need a new person to score. Come on, let's get that stat going. It's one of the coolest things I think we have going for us, in that so many people have done that. So I really want to see it keep going.
I mean, Hutton's going to get one with those lasers. She's going to get one. I want to see our center backs get one. I want to see,
and they're up there, dude.
Nice
Gabby's up there. You saw Gabby had like an opportunity, and she like missed it. You saw her; she was so frustrated. She's like,
"Yeah, it was a pretty good look. Yeah, she was in position."
Yes, and that just shows hunger, and it'll come.
By the way, she's been a good player, man.
Yeah,
Robinson. She's been our most reliable center back, in my opinion.
Yeah,
this season. So
I agree. Well, cool, man. Double game week, very exciting. Hopefully, we can shoot back to top of the table. Fingers crossed. Show up Wednesday, 9:00, NWSL Plus, I believe. Yes, it is. And then Sunday at 5 at the stadium, or NWSL Plus as well. So cool. Anything else to say to our beautiful people?
No, I got nothing.
Cool.
Got nothing.
Cool. All right, y'all. Well, that's it for us. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21, at No Other Pod. Send us an email, nootherpod@gmail.com. You can leave us 5-star ratings and reviews. We've had a few trickle in every now and then, with new listeners coming on as the Current have garnered more fans and more popularity in the league. And we'll be back. We'll be back next week, maybe with an interview or something. I'm feeling spicy. I have to set something up. So, all right,
get in their schedule, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's pretty busy. So, for Christopher, I'm Daniel. We love you so very much. Goodbye.